speed limits themselves, and I think speed limits in isolation of anything else is actually not helpful. I have known in the US, a lot of cities have 35, they've gone to 30, some cities have gone to 25, some cities have gone to 20. In the absence of street design, I hope everybody walks out of here and recognizes that people are going to drive the speed they feel comfortable regardless of any other factor. So you can say it's 20 miles an hour, and there will be some people who will drive 20 miles an hour. The reality is that most people are going to drive the speed they feel comfortable. And if the street is designed for 40, if the street's designed for 50, that's what people are going to drive. And so I feel often like the discussion over speed limits, and let me say it exactly the way that it's being discussed. The limit that we are going to use the enforcement arm of the state to do is such a huge distraction. In the US, and I have a whole chapter on routine traffic stops in my book, because in the US, police know that everybody speeds, and they accept that institutionally, because how can you not? I mean, you literally would just pull everybody over all the time. The police officer would leave the station and just start pulling people over and just continuously pull people over until their stop ended, their shift ended, and then they would go back. They don't. What they do is they use the arbitrarily low speed limit. And let's say that the speed limit that is out of alignment with the design, and therefore out of alignment with human expectations and human usage. They use that differential to pick and choose where they're going to enforce it. And in the US, that often is in poor neighborhoods, in neighborhoods with vulnerable populations, in neighborhoods that police will say are high crime, but there's kind of a reciprocal thing where they're high crime, so that's where we go, so that's where we measure crime, that's where we go. And we have this, you are well aware of the problems we have with traffic stops and police shootings and the like. We should look at traffic speed limits as an enforcement tool that is a very blunt instrument in accomplishing what we want to accomplish in terms of safety. Every street in our city needs to be redesigned. And I know that sounds like impossible, right? When we passed the American with Disabilities Act in 1991 in the US, I started working as an engineer in 1995, and the vibe 4 years later was, this is impossible. This could never happen. We have to retrofit every intersection for wheelchair access? Like, that's insane. Who do these people think they are? This will never happen. It's 2022. Find me an intersection that's not ADA compliant. It's like 90% of intersections are today. I think that what will happen is that we give up on enforcement as our primary mechanism. We shift to design. We start with the places where we have known problems. We work on them. In other places, we go do temporary tactical interventions with cones and paint and what have you. And if we really got aggressive about this, we could do it very, very quickly.